Have you ever interacted with a brand and on one platform, they are serious, they are staunch, they are completely the most professional and amazing company ever. And then you get to customer service or you see their social media and you're like, what is this brand doing? Yeah. I mean, you don't even know if it's the same brand. You don't know if it's the same people that could possibly be in charge of this one place where you interact with them that are in charge of this other one. They just don't seem as consistent across their different platforms as a singular brand. And that sometimes makes it difficult for you to connect with a brand. And if you know anything about brands, brands are all about connection. It's all about getting somebody to connect with your brand and want to be around it, want to use it, want to buy from it. Now, before I get sidetracked, let's bring it back here. I want you to think for a second if you've interacted with Nando's on almost any platform. Nando's has a particular way of saying things. They have a particular way of presenting things. And if you know that a political drama is happening, Nando's is coming in. Nando's is going to be on the forefront of some crazy satire, some amazing advert that just plays to exactly what is happening and does it just right. They have a particular, how would you say it, voice. They have a voice, a way of saying these things that makes them not only relevant, but exciting and make people want to interact with them. Have you ever asked yourself what the Nando's ads, what the Nando's sass has got to do with their chicken? How do you connect that with their chicken? Well, you see, when you're building a brand, you have to think of a number of different things, and one of them is brand visibility. But beyond that, what Nando's has got right is the one element we call brand voice. They have developed a unique brand voice, one that is completely, utterly, totally, uniquely theirs. And whenever a brand does something similar, they're saying, hey, you're trying to be a Nando's. Because Nando's has created a very clear, very concise, very unique brand voice that speaks specifically for them and to their exact audience. When developing this brand voice, the genius behind it decided that they knew who their target audience was and they were going to speak specifically to them. If you ever felt that you could connect with something that Nando's did, then you were the target audience. You were the people they were trying to speak to. Now that you know what the secret sauce is behind Nando's, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, pun intended, we're going to talk about that specifically, a brand voice, and how you can develop a brand voice specifically for your brand. Now, when developing a brand voice, there are a couple of different things that you have to take into consideration. One of them is tone. So, you know that the tone for a standard bank is going to be very different from, no, I wasn't going to say Nando's, from an F&B. F&B has very different, it has an energetic, empathetic, here, how can we help you tone? And that brand voice has a particular way of delivering its message with an exact goal behind it. You see, the brand voice for F&B wants to come across as helpful, as understanding, and as a partner. While the brand voice for a Stanbic Bank, on the other hand, is very different because it wants to come across as an authority. It wants to come across as a big player in the market, somebody you can trust, somebody who holds it together and keeps it together and has heritage and strength and is the best in the market. They are completely different voices in the exact same industry. Now, all of these are actually done deliberately while building a brand. And this is something that you should consider. It doesn't matter how big or small your business is. Building a brand voice is an important part of building your brand. Because if we take a couple of steps back, why do you build a brand in the first place? Brands are about connection. You see, your logo is not a brand. Your product and your product branding is not a brand. And I know they call it product branding because branding, right? But your product branding is not the brand. Your product in itself may not necessarily be a brand. It might be a particular integral part of the brand. For example, Coca-Cola. But it is not the actual brand. Coca-Cola, the bottle is part of the brand. The shape of the bottle is recognizable everywhere. But you see, above and beyond that, the red and white, the colors that are part of this brand and the shape of the bottle are synonymous with particular feelings. They're synonymous with particular events. They're synonymous with particular emotions that then create a connection. And that connection is what a brand is. A brand are the elements put together that create a connection between you and your customer. So a brand voice is this brand, this connection's actual spoken voice that helps you connect with that particular brand. If at any point I lost you and we got a little too deep, forgive me. I am excited to be speaking to you guys about these things. So what you do is, in the comments, just ask any questions that you might have, because I'm going back to us building you a brand voice. We got it? Great. In order to build a successful brand voice, right, you need to understand who you're speaking to, why you're speaking to them, and what exactly you're trying to say. And above and beyond that, what connection are you trying to build with them? You see, if we go back to the Nando's example, through humor, through satire, they're able to create relevance. Relevance that allows them to place their brand in front of you and ensure that they are top of mind. And on top of being top of mind, right, you are consistently considering them and waiting for them with every scandal. So they remain super relevant, they remain an actual voice, and on top of that, you get to relate that, or they cleverly relate that with their meals. And even as you walk in the store, you're looking for the satire. You're looking for the clever ways that they're going to tell you where the bathroom is. You're looking for the clever ways that they're going to tell you about their new flavor, their new spice. And their voice is also beautifully localized. But don't get me excited on Nando's. We're a Nando's family, so I could talk about Nando's all day. And we haven't even gotten into the product. What I want to talk to you about is brand voice. So let's go back there. Why are you speaking to this particular audience? What do you want to say? How is it relevant to them? And how does it foster a connection? Let's get into that. So the first thing is, why are you talking to your audience? It sounds really obvious. You are talking to them because you want to make a sale. Oh, really? So you telling me all of the ads that you've seen for these big brands just want to make a sale? Does that make sense to you? No. Why are you speaking to them? What are you doing for your audience? What value are you sharing by speaking to your audience at this particular juncture? What are you saying to them? Are you making it easier for them to access services? Are you trying to change the way they think about certain things? For example, how can we help you is trying to change the way you think about banking. And if you're Zambian, big, strong, reliable is trying to ensure that you understand who the biggest player in the market is and therefore trust them. Why are you speaking to them? Once you understand why you're speaking to this particular audience, you're able to begin crafting your tone. Because when you know why you're speaking to somebody, then you know how you need to speak to them. That's where the second part comes in. How are you speaking to them? Now, how you're speaking to them actually transcends just the channels that you will be using to speak to them. We're talking about the actual wordage, the actual diction, the word choice, and even when you're going to pop up. There are some brands that will speak to you all the time. There are some brands that will speak to you very little. Luxury brands tend to say the least, tend to have even less connection points. You know, in fact, luxury brands, their biggest selling points usually are the clients that buy them. But we'll get to that. Now that you know why you're speaking to them, you can then craft how. What does the how look like? Well, the how is you deciding the exact wordage. So in the case of, back to Nando's, in the case of the Nando's example, the how are these creative adverts that are consistently there whenever something relevant is happening. You know, what are you saying to them? What would you say that Nando's is saying in their tone? They're trying to say, we're relatable. We are one of you. You know, we're going through what you're going through, and this is what we think of it. We got it? Good. If you enjoyed this, I want you to like, share, subscribe. I also have 3 free workshops every single month and 1 paid workshop speaking on different elements. and I would love for you to actually be there. So look, do the thing, like, share, subscribe. We will be sharing a whole lot more videos. This is like a whole series, and I look forward to actually talking to you guys about more of this stuff, because for me, I'm passionate about this. So thank you very much for watching. My name is Omar Stone. I run Omar Stone Consulting, and good luck with building that brand. I am rooting for you.